Imagine a world where the very ground beneath your feet is alive, not just in the sense of plants growing or rivers flowing, but truly alive, aware and watching. A world where morality is not just a human invention, but a force of nature itself. Among the Igbo people of West Africa, this world is not just a myth. It is reality, and at the heart of it stands Allah, also known as Ani, the Great Earth Mother. Allah is not just a goddess. She is the earth itself, the soil that nourishes the field that bears fruit, the sacred ground where ancestors rest. But she is also much more. Allah is the giver of life, the enforcer of morality, the judge of human actions, and the silent witness to every promise, oath, and crime. But who is Allah? What does it mean for a goddess to be both the source of life and the keeper of death? How can she be a loving mother who blesses the harvest, while also a stern judge who punishes those who break sacred laws? And why do the Igbo believe that to harm the earth is not just an ecological crime, but a spiritual offense? In a world where the earth itself can bless or curse, every step is sacred, every act is weighed, and every wrong carries a consequence. This is the world of Allah, a world where morality is more than words. It is a living force, a spirit that touches every soul. For the Igbo, Allah is not a distant deity perched on a mountain or hidden in the heavens. She is here, beneath every footstep, in every seed that sprouts, in every grave that holds an ancestor. She is honored in sacred groves where her spirit is strongest, and revered in village rituals where oaths are sworn in her name. She is the source of fertility, the protector of women, the guardian of the dead. Yet she is also the lawgiver, watching over taboos, Enso Allah, rules that cannot be broken without inviting disaster. To offend Allah is to offend the very earth, to disrupt the balance of life itself. But what makes Allah's world so powerful is that it is not just a story, it is a lived reality. Her presence is felt in every harvest, her anger in every famine, her justice in every trial. The Igbo do not simply worship Allah. They live with her, they walk upon her, they speak to her. And as we journey through her myths, her laws, her sacred spaces, and her influence on society, you will see that Allah is more than just an ancient goddess. She is the soul of a people, the heartbeat of the earth, and a voice that still whispers through the forests, rivers, and fields. Allah's story begins not just as a goddess, but as the very ground beneath the feet of her people. In the ancient cosmology of the Igbo, Allah, sometimes called Ani, is not a distant, ethereal figure but a living force, the embodiment of the earth itself. She is the soil that feeds the crops, the rivers that quench thirst, the mountains that touch the sky. To the Igbo, Allah is the ultimate source of life, for it is she who makes the land fertile, who gives birth to the fields and forests, who nourishes both plant and animal life. Every seed that sprouts, every tree that blooms, every harvest gathered is a gift from her. To harm the earth is to harm Allah, and to respect the earth is to honor her. But Allah is not only the provider of physical life, she is also the source of moral life. In her domain, life and law are one. She is the great judge of human conduct, the guardian of truth, and the enforcer of morality. Her laws, known as Nso Allah, are not merely human rules. They are divine commandments written into the earth itself. Enso Allah defines what is forbidden, from theft and murder to incest and dishonesty. To break these taboos is to offend Allah directly, and such offenses bring not only social shame, but spiritual consequences. A broken Nso Allah can curse a household, blight a harvest, or even bring sickness and death. But these are not just punishments, they are corrections. signs that a balance has been violated and that the community must restore it through rituals of atonement. Allah's connection to fertility goes beyond the soil. She is the mother of all, of plants, animals, and human beings. Women in particular are seen as under her special protection. As the goddess of fertility, Ala is invoked at marriages, at childbirth, and in ceremonies that mark the passage from girlhood to womanhood. Pregnant women call upon her for safe delivery, and mothers give thanks to her for the health of their children. Yet her protection is not unconditional. To mistreat women, to violate their sanctity, is to defy Allah herself. In this way, Allah's power is both nurturing and fearsome, a mother's love and a judge's wrath combined. Mythologically, Allah is not a solitary figure. She is often described as the wife of Amadioha, the thunder god, but her authority is separate and greater. Amadioha is the sky, the storm, the lightning, sudden, loud, and powerful. But Allah is the earth, steady, patient, ever present. Where Amadioha's anger is swift, Allah's is slow but inescapable. In some myths, she is portrayed as a creator, molding the first humans from clay, giving them form and breath. In others, she is the silent witness who judges the souls of the dead, receiving them into her sacred earth. The graves of ancestors are not just burial sites. They are sanctuaries, spaces where the living and the dead coexist under her watchful care. Allah's presence is not confined to myth. Her spirit is felt in the very geography of Igbo land. Sacred groves dedicated to her, quiet, shadowed sanctuaries where the trees grow wild and the air is thick with the scent of earth, are scattered across villages. These groves are places where the ground is never cleared, the trees never cut, the soil never disturbed. They are living temples where her spirit is strongest. To enter without permission is to invite misfortune. Her image may be carved into clay figurines or woven into the symbols of traditional shrines, but she is most alive in the land itself. The red soil that stains the feet, the lush green fields that stretch to the horizon. In Igbo society, to walk upon the earth is to walk upon Allah. To plant a seed is to make a promise to her. To lie or cheat is to risk her disfavor. The world she governs is not only physical but moral, a landscape where every action carries weight. Every word is a thread in the fabric of life. In Allah, the Igbo see not only a goddess, but a mirror of their world. A world where nature and ethics, life and law are one and the same. In the world of the Igbo, justice is not merely a matter of human law. It is a sacred force, and at the heart of it stands Allah. As the embodiment of the earth, Allah is not just a goddess of fertility and life. She is the ultimate judge, the keeper of morality, and the guardian of sacred law. This sacred law is known as Enso Allah, the divine taboos that define right from wrong, pure from impure, permitted from forbidden. Enso Allah is more than a list of rules. It is a spiritual code woven into the fabric of the universe, and to violate it is to offend Allah herself. Enso Allah governs every aspect of life. It declares what can be done and what must never be done, covering everything from marriage customs to burial rites, from honesty in trade to the sanctity of sacred groves. Certain actions are forbidden because they are seen as corrupting the earth itself. Acts of violence, theft, incest, and deceit are not just crimes against people, but sins against Allah. To cheat another is to insult the soil that sustains life. To commit murder is to stain the sacred ground with innocent blood. To lie under oath is to invite the earth to reject you. These are not merely social prohibitions. They are spiritual trespasses. But Allah is not only a punisher, she is also a healer. When an Nso Allah is broken, the community does not simply cast out the offender. Instead, they seek atonement, a way to restore balance. This may involve rituals of purification, offerings at a shrine, or even public confession. In cases of serious offenses like murder or incest, the offender must approach the priest of Allah, confess their guilt, and perform rituals of cleansing. Sometimes a sacrifice is made, a goat, a chicken, or a pot of palm wine poured upon the earth as a sign of repentance. This is not bribery. It is a way of acknowledging the wrong, making amends, and asking Allah for forgiveness. But the power of Allah's justice is not limited to the living. It extends to the world of the ancestors, the Ndiche. The dead are not gone in Igbo belief. They dwell in the land of Allah, watching over the living, judging their actions, and offering blessings or curses. It is said that a person who violates Nso Allah may be cursed not only in life, but even in death, denied a place among the honored ancestors. Such a soul becomes a wandering spirit, lost and tormented, never able to rest in the sacred earth of Allah. This belief is not a threat. It is a reminder that justice is eternal, that the moral order of the world does not end with the grave. The role of priests, known as Nso Allah, is essential in this system. These are the custodians of Allah's law, the interpreters of her will. They oversee rituals of purification, judge disputes, and ensure that taboos are respected. In many villages, the sacred grove of Allah is a place of judgment where disputes are settled under the shadow of ancient trees. Oaths are sworn in her name, and false oaths are said to bring swift retribution. A person who lies before Allah risks not just social shame, but sickness, misfortune, or even death. Enso Allah is not a relic of the past. Even today, many Igbo communities continue to respect these sacred taboos. Land disputes are still brought to the sacred groves, where elders invoke Allah as the ultimate witness. Sworn oaths, even in modern courts, may still be reinforced by a quiet prayer to Allah, a silent reminder that truth is sacred. For the Igbo, justice is not merely about human authority. It is about cosmic balance. Allah's law is the law of life itself, the principle that binds the community to the earth, the living to the dead. Allah's justice is not blind. It is watchful, patient, and inevitable. It does not punish out of cruelty, but corrects to preserve harmony. It is a reminder that every action has consequences, that truth cannot be hidden, and that the earth itself is always watching. In a world where lies can be whispered, where power can corrupt, and where greed can grow like weeds, Allah stands as a silent, unwavering presence, the voice of morality whispered through the soil. Allah's presence is not just a spiritual idea. It is a physical reality etched into the landscape of Igbo communities. Her spirit is strongest in her shrines, in the sacred groves where the trees grow tall and untouched, where the earth is never plowed and the air is thick with silence. These are not mere patches of forest. They are living temples, places where the voice of Allah can be heard in the rustling leaves, where her judgment is felt in the quiet stillness. To the Igbo, these groves are not just spaces of worship. They are sanctuaries for life itself, places where the boundary between the human and the divine is thin. The shrines of Allah are often simple but powerful. In some villages, they take the form of a small earthen mound or a carved figure set beneath a sacred tree. In others, they are elaborate altars decorated with symbols of fertility, clay pots, yams, palm fronds, and sacred stones. Offerings are placed at these shrines to seek Allah's blessings. Kola nuts, yams, palm wine, or even the blood of a sacrificed chicken. These are not mere gestures of devotion. They are acts of communion, ways of giving back to the earth that gives everything. But it is in the sacred groves that Allah's spirit is most palpable. These groves are living relics of an ancient respect for nature. They are places where the soil is never turned, where the trees are never cut, where the creatures that dwell within are left in peace. Hunters do not enter without permission, and even then, they must ask for Allah's blessing, for to kill within her grove without cause is to invite her wrath. Children are warned not to play carelessly within these sacred spaces, and even the elders speak with quiet reverence beneath the shade of the ancient trees. These groves are more than just spiritual sanctuaries. They are also ecological reserves, protecting biodiversity, preserving old-growth forests, and maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. In a time when forests are felled for farmland and cities swallow the countryside, the sacred groves of Allah stand as a testament to an ancient understanding that humanity must live in harmony with nature, that some places must remain untouched, not for human profit, but for the spirit of the earth. Rituals within these groves are conducted with great care. Priests of Allah, known as Nso Allah, perform purification ceremonies, blessings for the harvest, and rites of reconciliation for those who have broken Enso Allah. In these shaded clearings, disputes are settled, oaths are sworn, and marriages are blessed. A bride may be brought to the sacred grove to ask for Allah's blessing on her fertility. A farmer may pour libations at the shrine before planting his crops, asking for a bountiful harvest. The air is often filled with the scent of incense, the rhythmic beat of drums, and the quiet murmur of prayers whispered to the earth. But the sacred groves are not just places of ritual, they are places of refuge. During times of war or conflict, women, children, and the elderly would seek shelter within these holy spaces, knowing that even the fiercest warriors would not dare violate the sanctity of Allah's domain. To spill blood within a sacred grove was to offend the goddess herself, an act that could bring disaster upon an entire community. Even in times of peace, the groves are spaces of quiet reflection, where one can come to speak with the spirits, to seek guidance, or simply to listen. Yet, for all their spiritual significance, the sacred groves of Allah are also a reminder of the fragility of the natural world. In the modern era, as forests are cleared for farms, roads, and cities, many of these sacred spaces have been lost. But those that remain continue to offer a glimpse into an ancient wisdom, a knowledge that life is sacred, that the earth is alive, and that some spaces must remain untouched. Allah's sacred groves are more than relics. They are symbols of a deep truth, that humanity is not the master of nature but its steward, that the earth is not a resource but a relative. In the whisper of the wind through the leaves, in the shadowed paths where sunlight barely touches, in the silence where even words seem unnecessary, Allah's spirit lingers, reminding all who enter that the earth is not just a place to live, but a presence to honor. Allah is not just a goddess to be worshipped. She is a force that governs how the Igbo live, how they relate to one another, and how they maintain harmony within their communities. Her influence is felt in the very fabric of Igbo society, where laws, customs, and moral principles are more than human inventions. They are believed to be extensions of Allah's will. The Igbo do not merely obey these laws out of fear of punishment. They follow them because they see them as reflections of a deeper, sacred truth. To act justly is to walk in harmony with Allah. To do wrong is to disrupt the balance of life itself. At the heart of this moral code are the sacred taboos known as Nso Allah, divine laws that protect the purity of the earth and the integrity of the community. These taboos define what is forbidden, stealing, lying, incest, adultery, and murder. But they also govern more subtle aspects of life: honesty in trade, respect for elders, hospitality to strangers, and kindness to the vulnerable. To the Igbo, these are not arbitrary rules. They are expressions of Allah's sense of justice. They ensure that the earth is not polluted, that families remain strong, and that communities thrive in peace. Even today, an elder might warn a child, "Do not offend Allah," as a reminder that every action carries a spiritual consequence. Allah's influence is most visible in the way Igbo communities resolve conflicts. Disputes are not settled by force, but by dialogue, often in the shade of the sacred grove, where the spirit of Allah is believed to watch over the proceedings. Elders, who are seen as the living memory of the community, serve as judges interpreting the wisdom of the ancestors and the principles of Enso Allah. Their rulings are respected, not just because they hold authority, but because they are seen as voices of Allah herself. A person who refuses to accept such a judgment is not only defying the community, they are defying the goddess. Allah's values also shape Igbo customs of hospitality, marriage, and respect for the dead. A guest is treated with kindness, for they walk upon Allah's earth. Marriages are celebrated with rituals that invoke her blessings on fertility and harmony. Graves are carefully tended, for they are not just burial sites but sacred spaces where the ancestors rest in her embrace. Even the practice of making oaths in Allah's name is a testament to her moral authority. To swear falsely before Allah is to invite her wrath, a risk few would dare take. Through these traditions, Allah's presence is not just spiritual, it is social. She is the invisible force that binds the community, the voice of conscience whispered through custom, the silent witness to every act of justice or betrayal. In a world where every step is taken upon her sacred soil, every action is a prayer, every word is a promise. To live justly is to live in harmony with Allah. To do wrong is to walk in shadow, estranged from the earth that sustains all life. In the world of the Igbo, Allah is not just a goddess of myth. She is the living soul of the earth, the silent witness to every heartbeat, every promise, every step taken upon the sacred soil. She is the pulse beneath the fields, the breath in the forests, the quiet voice of justice whispered through the wind. Allah is the beginning and the end, the mother who nurtures life and the judge who guards the dead. To understand her is to understand not just a deity, but a way of seeing the world. A world where morality is not an idea, but a presence, where justice is not a theory, but a force, and where the earth is not a thing to be used, but a spirit to be honored. But Allah is not only a goddess of the past. Her spirit lingers in the sacred groves that stand as silent witnesses to ancient wisdom. Her laws still echo in the moral codes of villages. Her blessings are still sought in marriages. Her judgment still feared when taboos are broken. Even in a world of cities and machines where forests give way to roads and sacred spaces are forgotten, Allah's whisper can still be heard. In the silence of a field at dawn, in the rustle of leaves after rain, in the quiet knowledge that the earth remembers. And so, to you who have walked with me on this journey, may the earth beneath your feet be soft and kind. May your words be honest and your actions just, so that you walk always in harmony with the Spirit of Allah. May your hands bring life, not harm. May your heart be light with truth, and may your home be a place of peace, blessed by the whispers of the ancestors. May your days be fertile with joy, and may your nights be watched over by those who walked before. But I do not ask you to simply remember Allah. I invite you to step lightly upon the world, to see that every grain of soil, every breath of wind, every drop of rain is alive. That to live well is to live with reverence, to speak with truth, and to love without condition. So if this story has touched your spirit, if these ancient truths have stirred your soul, let your voice become a whisper in the world. Share this story, but more than that, live it. Let your steps honor the earth. Let your words be sacred as soil. And as you journey forward, know that you walk not just on ground, but on the spirit of life itself. This is not just the end of a video. It is the beginning of a journey of walking with care, of seeing with respect, of living with reverence. May Allah guide your steps, and may your heart always remember that the earth is watching.